mop bucket scraped against the marble floor as Adebayo dragged it down the hallway. His hands, usually soft from office work, now gripped the wooden handle tight. The cleaner's uniform hung loose on his body, smelling of cheap soap and someone else's sweat. He stopped outside apartment 12B, Folake's apartment. Through the heavy wooden door, he heard her laugh. That same sweet sound that made him fall in love 6 months ago. But tonight, something felt different. Wrong. You should see him. Folake's voice drifted through the door. The fool actually thinks I love him. Adebayo's heart stopped. He pressed closer to the door, pretending to clean the brass numbers. A man's voice responded, deep and amused. You always were good at pretending, baby. Good? Folake laughed again, but this time it sounded sharp, like breaking glass. I'm perfect at it. When he holds me, I think about his bank account. When he kisses me, I count the zeros. The mop handle creaked in Adebayo's grip. 3 weeks ago, he'd started this test, trading his designer suits for this dirty uniform. He told her he was traveling for business, then showed up as Biodun, a cleaner in her building. She hadn't recognized him. The beard and glasses helped. But he never expected to hear this. How much longer do you have to keep this up? The man asked. 3 months. That's all. 3 months and I'll be set for life. Adebayo heard footsteps moving closer to the door. He quickly dunked the mop in the bucket, water sloshing over the sides. The smell of industrial cleaner burned his nose. 3 months? The man sounded doubtful. You sure you can fake it that long? I've faked it for 6 months already. What's 3 more? Folake's heels clicked on the tile floor inside. Besides, after we're married, I won't have to try so hard. Rich men like him are always busy with work. He'll barely notice if I'm cold. And if he wants kids? Folake's laugh turned darker. Oh, he'll get kids, just not the way he thinks. The man's voice dropped lower. You really going through with that plan? Why not? He wants a baby. I'll give him one. Her voice was so casual, like she was discussing what to cook for dinner. In 3 months, I'll be carrying his baby, and he'll never know it's not his. Adebayo's hand slipped. The mop bucket tipped, sending dirty water flooding across the hallway floor. The sound echoed off the walls. Inside, the voices stopped. What was that? Folake asked. Probably just the cleaner, the man said. Adebayo's mind raced. He dropped to his knees, pulling rags from his cart to soak up the spill. His engagement ring, hidden on a chain under his uniform, pressed cold against his chest. The door opened. Folake stood there in a silk robe he'd bought her last month. Her face twisted in disgust when she saw him. Watch what you're doing, she snapped. This is an expensive building. We don't need clumsy cleaners making it look cheap. Adebayo kept his head down, mumbling an apology in pidgin English. She couldn't see his face clearly in the dim hallway light. Sorry, madam. No vex. I go clean and well. She sucked her teeth and slammed the door. But not before Adebayo glimpsed the man inside, tall, muscular, wearing only boxer shorts. As he mopped up the water, one thought burned in his mind. Who was this woman he'd planned to marry? And what exactly was she planning to do in 3 months? The dirty water swirled down the drain, brown and murky, like all the lies between them. 6 months earlier, champagne bubbles danced in crystal glasses as Lagos sparkled below them. Adebayo adjusted his Italian suit jacket, feeling the small velvet box burn in his pocket like a secret. You're sweating, Folake teased, dabbing his forehead with her napkin. Her red dress caught the candlelight, making her glow like fire. It's hot, he lied. The rooftop restaurant at Echo Hotel was perfect, live band playing soft highlife music, the smell of grilled fish mixing with expensive perfume. Other diners whispered and pointed. Everyone knew Adebayo Ogundimu, the tech millionaire who built his empire from nothing. His phone buzzed. A text from Kemi. Are you sure about her? He flipped the phone face down. His sister never liked Folake. Said she smiled too much with her mouth and not enough with her eyes. Everything okay, Folake, but her gaze had already shifted to the couple at the next table, counting their jewelry. Perfect. Adebayo stood, his chair scraping against the floor. The band stopped playing. He'd paid them to. Folake's eyes widened. Bayo, what are you? He dropped to one knee. The velvet box opened with a soft click, revealing a diamond that caught every light on the rooftop. 5 carats, the jeweler had said. Flawless, like her, or so he thought. Folake Adeyemi, his voice carried across the silent restaurant. You changed my life, Before you, I only cared about code and contracts. You taught me how to love. Her hand flew to her chest, but her eyes stayed locked on the ring. Oh my God, will you marry me? The whole restaurant held its breath. Folake's gaze flickered from the ring to his face, then back to the ring. For a moment, something cold passed through her expression. Then it was gone, replaced by tears. Yes, yes, of course! The restaurant erupted in applause. Champagne appeared from nowhere. Strangers took pictures. Folake held her hand up to the light, watching the diamonds scatter rainbows across her face. It's so big, she whispered. You deserve the best, Adebayo said, sliding it onto her finger. She kissed him then, deep and long. The crowd cheered louder. But when they pulled apart, she was already calculating something behind her eyes. How many carats? She asked softly, so only he could hear. Does it matter? I'm just curious. She smiled, that perfect smile that had hooked him at the art gallery 6 months ago. 5. Her smile grew wider. You really do love me. Later, as they sat back down, she couldn't stop staring at the ring. She held it up to catch the light from different angles, took photos, posted on Instagram before their food even arrived. My friends will die, she giggled, typing furiously. Sade only got 3 carats, and Bisi's wasn't even a full carat. Adebayo's champagne tasted flat suddenly. Is that important, the size? Of course not, baby. She reached across the table, but her touch felt rehearsed. I'd marry you with a ring from Balogun Market. His phone buzzed again. Another text from Kimmy. Watch her face when she looks at you versus when she looks at the ring. He deleted it. Kimmy was just being overprotective. She'd been that way since their mother left their father for a richer man 20 years ago. Not every woman was like that. I want a spring wedding, Folake was saying. Something huge. Maybe Dubai or Paris? Oh, and we'll need to upgrade my car first. Can't have a bride pulling up in a Toyota. Whatever you want, she squealed, clapping her hands. You're the best. I'm so lucky. The waiter brought their food, grilled lobster and jollof rice. Folake barely touched hers, too busy planning their life. Their mansion in Banana Island, their vacation home in London, their future children in Swiss boarding schools. Slow down. Adebayo laughed. We just got engaged. I know, but I can see it all so clearly. She leaned forward, her eyes bright. You'll give me everything I've ever dreamed of. The words should have warmed him. Instead, they left him cold. As they left the restaurant, Folake walked ahead, showing her ring to every staff member they passed. Adebayo followed, watching her work the room like a politician. His phone buzzed one more time. Kimmy again. I hope I'm wrong about her, but if I'm not, promise me you'll protect yourself. Standing in that fancy restaurant, watching his fiancée calculate the ring's value instead of celebrating their love, Adebayo made a silent promise. He would find out exactly who Folake really was. The 5-carat diamond blinded me to what Kimmy saw clearly. You look like you slept under bridge, Segun said, stepping back to admire his work. Adebayo stared at his reflection in the office bathroom mirror. Gone was the clean-shaven CEO. In his place stood a tired-looking cleaner with rough beard, thick glasses, and clothes that smelled like struggle. Perfect, Adebayo said, practicing his pidgin accent. Nobody go no say na me. 3 weeks had passed since he'd overheard Folake's betrayal. 3 weeks of planning this moment. The fake business trip was set. Folake thought he was in Dubai closing a deal. You sure about this? Segun asked, handing him a mop bucket. What if she recognizes you? She won't. Adebayo rubbed dirt under his fingernails. You know how many times she's really looked at my face instead of my watch or wallet? Segun frowned. This could backfire, bro. I need to know the truth. The elevator ride down from his top-floor office felt like descending into another world. By the time he reached the parking garage, Adebayo had fully become Biodun. Shoulders slouched, eyes downcast, the posture of a man beaten down by life. His driver, Musa, didn't even recognize him when he walked past the Bentley. The bus ride to Victoria Island took an hour. Pressed between market women and tired workers, Adebayo felt invisible for the first time in years. Nobody cared about Biodun the cleaner. No one asked for selfies or business cards. At Folake's building, the security guard barely glanced at his fake ID. New cleaner? Yes, sir. I just start today. Second floor. Report to Mr. Johnson. The lies came easy. Mr. Johnson, the building manager, hired him on the spot. Cleaners were always quitting, he said. The pay was too small. The work too hard. You'll clean floors 2 through 5, Johnson explained, his breath smelling of coffee and cigarettes. Residents don't like seeing staff, so work fast and stay invisible. Yes, sir. Start with the second floor. Work your way up. Adebayo's heart pounded as he pushed his cart down Folake's hallway. Apartment 12B, their future home, she'd called it. Just until we build our mansion, she'd said. He knocked. Cleaning service, ma. Footsteps. The door opened. Folake stood there in yoga pants and a sports bra, sweat glistening on her skin. Her face twisted immediately. Can't you come back later? I'm busy. She didn't recognize him, not even a flicker of familiarity in her eyes. Sorry, ma. I go come back. He turned to leave. Wait. She looked him up and down like he was dirt. You're new? Yes, ma. I just start today. What's your name? Bio done, ma. She wrinkled her nose. You smell. Make sure you shower before you come to work. This is a respectable building. The woman who slept in his arms every night couldn't see past the uniform. Adebayo swallowed his hurt and nodded. Yes, ma. Sorry, ma. She started to close the door, then paused. Actually, come in. The kitchen floor needs mopping. My useless maid didn't show up. Inside the apartment he'd helped her decorate, Adebayo got on his knees and scrubbed. Folake sat at the counter, scrolling through her phone, occasionally barking orders. You missed a spot. The water's too dirty. Change it. Don't touch anything except the floor. His engagement ring, hidden under his shirt, pressed against his chest with each movement. On the counter, her ring caught the light. She'd been wearing it on a chain around her neck. You dey marry? He asked in broken English, nodding at the ring. She laughed, but it wasn't warm. What's it to you? Nothing, ma. Just say congratulations. Save it. You wouldn't understand. She held up the ring, admiring it. My fiancé is rich, very rich. He owns half of Lagos. That's good, ma. Good? She snorted. It's perfect. Do you know what this ring cost? More than you'll make in 10 lifetimes. Adebayo scrubbed harder, his knuckles white around the mop handle. He's traveling now, she continued, talking more to herself than to him. Dubai, big business deal. He's always working, making money. Her voice turned dreamy. Soon I'll never have to see people like you. We'll have real staff, trained ones from abroad. You love Am? The question slipped out before he could stop it. Folake's eyes narrowed. What kind of question is that? Sorry, ma. I no mean anything. Of course I love him, she said, but her hand moved to her stomach in a strange gesture. Why else would I marry him? She stood abruptly. Finish up and get out. And next time, don't ask personal questions. You're here to clean, not chat. As she walked to her bedroom, her phone rang. She answered it with a completely different voice, soft, sweet, loving. Hey, baby. How's Dubai? I miss you so much. The bedroom door closed, but Adebayo could still hear her. The same voice that had just treated him like garbage now dripped with honey. I can't wait for you to come back. I have a surprise for you. No, I can't tell you now. Let's just say our family might be growing soon. Adebayo's mop stopped moving. Family growing? What did she mean? He finished quickly and let himself out. In the hallway, he pulled out his phone and texted Segun. She didn't recognize me at all. Segun replied immediately. And? Adebayo looked back at her door, remembering how she'd held her stomach, the strange promise about their family growing. He typed back. The woman who kissed me yesterday wouldn't even look me in the eye today. Bio done! You're late! Folake's voice cut through the boutique like a whip. Adebayo checked his watch, 2 p.m. exactly, just as she'd requested, but he kept his head down, mumbling apologies in pidgin. The smell of expensive perfume mixed with leather handbags made his nose itch. Sorry, ma. Traffic day bad for road. She stood behind the glass counter, wearing a dress he'd bought her last month, the blue one that cost more than most people's rent. Her assistant, a young girl with nervous eyes, counted money in the corner. I don't pay you to make excuses, Folake snapped, though she wasn't actually paying him anything. The bathroom is filthy. Clean it. Now. As he gathered his supplies, Adebayo watched her serve a customer, all smiles and sweetness, complimenting the woman's taste while calculating the commission in her head. The moment the customer left with 2 designer bags, Folake's smile vanished like smoke. 20,000 naira profit, she told her assistant. Not bad for 10 minutes' work. Adebayo's stomach turned. Just yesterday, he'd asked to borrow 5,000 naira as biodun, claiming his mother was sick. She'd laughed in his face. In the bathroom, he scrubbed tiles that were already spotless, listening to her gossip with customers about her rich fiancé. Each word stung like acid. "He's in Dubai right now," she bragged, "closing a $50 million deal. That's why I can afford to work here for fun, not because I need money." Lies within lies. She'd begged him for this boutique job, said she wanted to feel independent. His phone buzzed, a text from his actual Dubai partners, wondering why he'd missed the morning conference call. He ignored it. This test was more important than any deal. "Bio done," Falaka appeared in the doorway. "I need a favor." "Yes, ma?" She held out a crumpled 1,000 naira note. "Buy me lunch from that place across the street. Jollof rice and chicken. Keep the change." The restaurant across the street charged 3,000 naira for that meal. She knew it. She was testing him too, in her own cruel way. "Ma, this money no go reach." "Then add your own money," she said, examining her nails. "Or don't come back." Adebayo took the money, his jaw tight. Outside, the Lagos sun beat down mercilessly. He bought the food with his own money, just as she knew he would. When he returned, she took it without a word of thanks. "Actually," she said, opening the container, "I'm not hungry anymore. You can have it." She tossed the food in the trash. 3,000 naira worth of rice sat in the garbage while she laughed with her assistant about poor people who don't know their place. Adebayo's hands shook as he continued cleaning. "You know what's funny?" Folak said loudly, making sure he could hear. "My fiancé is so generous. He'd probably give our clean million naira without thinking twice. But I told him, don't spoil these people. They get lazy when you're too kind." Her phone rang. Adebayo recognized the ringtone. He'd set it for himself on her phone. She answered with her fake sweet voice. "Baby, how's Dubai? Of course I miss you. What? Oh no, I'm not at the boutique. I'm having lunch with my mother. Yes, I'll give her your regards." Lies flowed from her mouth like water. Her mother lived in Ibadan and they hadn't spoken in months. After she hung up, her assistant asked, "Why did you lie?" "He doesn't like me working," Falake explained. "Says it's beneath me. But I need backup money, you understand? Men change after marriage. Better to be prepared." "But he's rich." "For now." Falake's voice turned cold. "My aunt married a rich man too. He lost everything in bad investments. Now she sells tomatoes in the market. That won't be me." Adebayo pretended to clean the same spot over and over, processing her words. She was planning for his failure before they even married. "Besides," Falake continued, "I have expensive taste. What if he decides to control my spending after wedding? No, I need my own money and other options." "Other options," Falake smiled, that calculating smile he now recognized. "A smart woman always has backup plans. Speaking of which," she pulled out her phone and typed quickly. Adebayo caught a glimpse of the name, Tayo, the same name from that night at her apartment. "Ma, I don't finish," he announced. She barely glanced at him. "Good. Here." She held out 500 naira. "For your transport." "But ma, you say keep the change from lunch." "I changed my mind." Her eyes were ice. "Take it or leave it." He took it. As he gathered his supplies, she called out one more time. "Bio done?" "Yes, ma. My fiancé and I are thinking of moving in together to save money before the wedding." She watched his face carefully. "What do you think? Should a woman live with a man before marriage?" The question was a trap. He could feel it. "I don't know, ma. Now your choice." She studied him like a bug under glass. "You're smarter than you look. Maybe too smart." Cold sweat ran down his back. Did she suspect something? "Oh, and bio done?" She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "I need you to work extra hours next week. My fiancé is coming back and I want everything perfect. You'll meet him. Try not to embarrass yourself." As Adebayo left the boutique, his phone rang. "Segun, how did it go?" "She threw away 3,000 naira worth of food just to hurt me," Adebayo said quietly. "And she's texting someone named Tayo." "The same guy from her apartment?" "Yes." "Bro, end this. You've seen enough." But Adebayo looked back at the boutique where Folake stood in the window, just counting money with a satisfied smile. "Not yet," he said. "She just invited Biodun to meet her fiancé next week." "What? Why?" Adebayo remembered her words. "You're smarter than you look. Maybe too smart." "I can't be seen with a cleaner. What would people think?" Red wine swirled in crystal glasses as laughter floated through Bottle's restaurant in Ikoyi. Adebayo pushed his cleaning cart past the VIP section, his heart stopping when he spotted her. Folake sat in a corner booth, but not alone. Her fingers traced patterns on a man's hand, a muscular man who wasn't her fiancé. The dim lighting couldn't hide how she leaned into him, whispering secrets meant for lovers. Bio Dunn, what are you doing here? Adebayo spun around. Mama Sidi, the old cleaner from his office building, stood behind him with her own cart, her wise eyes crinkled with surprise. Mama Sidi, he whispered, I work here sometimes. Extra money. She studied his face, then glanced at Folake's table. And that woman you're watching? She trouble? Before he could answer, Folake's laugh rang out. She was showing the man something on her phone, wedding venues. They're wedding venues. Tayo, stop! She giggled as he kissed her neck. Someone might see. Tayo, the name from her apartment, the voice on the phone. Mama Sidi sucked her teeth quietly. That wasn't a bad market. I see her type plenty. The man we dey kiss her, that no be her husband? Fiancé? Adebayo corrected, his voice thick. I mean, she get fiancé, but she dey here with another man. Mama Sidi shook her head. My son, make you know dey look that woman. She go wound your heart. If only she knew. Adebayo pretended to clean nearby tables, staying in the shadows. The restaurant's jazz music covered his movements, but couldn't drown out their conversation. 3 more months, Tayo was saying. Then we'll be rich. Keep your voice down, Folake hissed. She glanced around nervously, her eyes sliding right past Adebayo like he was furniture. You sure he doesn't suspect anything? Please, Adebayo thinks I worship him. He's too arrogant to imagine I could play him. She sipped her wine, leaving lipstick stains on the rim. Rich men are all the same. They think money makes them smart. Adebayo's knuckles went white around the mop handle. And the baby plan? Tayo asked. Folake touched her stomach gently. I stopped taking my pills 2 weeks ago, but not for him. You sure you want to do this? What choice do I have? Her voice turned bitter. You think I enjoy pretending to love him? Letting him touch me? I close my eyes and think of the money. Mama Sidi appeared at Adebayo's elbow. You dey shake, she whispered. Come, leave this place. But he couldn't move. He watched Tayo pull out a small box, a pregnancy test. I bought this, Tayo said, for when the time comes. Soon, Folake promised. After the wedding, I'll get pregnant. With your baby. But Adebayo will think it's his. And if he wants a DNA test, she laughed, cold and calculating. He won't. He's too trusting, too stupid. By the time he figures it out, I'll have half his money and a baby to guarantee the other half. Adebayo's phone vibrated. A text from Segun. Where are you? Your investors are asking questions. He ignored it. Nothing mattered except the poison he was hearing. I still say we should just take the money and run, Tayo suggested. Forget the baby trap. No. Folake's eyes glittered dangerously. I want it all. The house, the cars, the status. And a baby locks it down. Even if he divorces me, I'll get child support for 18 years. You're cold, Tayo said, but with admiration. I'm smart. There's a difference. She checked her phone. I should go. He calls every night at 9 to say goodnight. Such a romantic fool. They stood to leave. Adebayo quickly turned his back, mopping furiously, but Mama Sidi stepped directly in their path. Madam, you dropped this, she said, holding out nothing. Folake frowned. I didn't drop anything. You sure? Mama Sidi's eyes were steel. Sometimes we drop things we don't even know, like our conscience or our soul. Crazy old woman, Folake muttered, pushing past her. After they left, Mama Sidi returned to Adebayo. His hands shook so badly he couldn't hold the mop. You know that girl well, she said. It wasn't a question. She's your woman, Mama Sidi nodded sadly. I see it for your eyes. My son, that girl in the poison. Beautiful poison, but poison still kill you. Adebayo slumped against the wall. The restaurant spun around him, the smell of expensive food now making him sick, the jazz music sounding like funeral drums. What do I do, Mama? She patted his shoulder gently. You be rich man, Abe. I see how you carry yourself. You know be real cleaner. He nodded, too tired to lie anymore. Then use your brain, not your heart. If person day plan trap for you, you fit plan your own trap too. She smiled, but it was sharp. My husband tried play me one time. I play him back double. Now he day rest in peace. You killed him? No, she laughed. I just show him say two can play game. He respect me till he die natural death. She studied Adebayo's face. You get evidence? He thought about it. I could get some. Then get am, but be careful. Wounded snake they bite pass. As she walked away, Adebayo pulled out his phone. His hands steady now, he ordered a small recording device online. Express delivery. His phone rang, Folake calling for their nightly chat. He stared at her name on the screen, remembering her words. Such a romantic fool. He answered, switching to his CEO voice. Hello, baby. How was your day? Oh, Bio, I miss you so much. I just stayed home all day thinking about you. Lies. All lies. But now he knew the truth. As she spun her false stories, Adebayo made a decision. He wouldn't just expose her. He'd let her expose herself. Tomorrow, we start trying for a baby, Folake cooed into the phone, like not knowing Adebayo heard everything. Blue light from 3 computer screens lit up Adebayo's face as Folake's voice filled his apartment. On the recordings, she laughed about making him a father to another man's child. Jesus, Segun whispered, leaning back in the leather chair. She really said all that? Kemi's face filled the laptop screen calling from London. Even through the video call, her anger was sharp enough to cut. I told you she was a snake, Bio, but this is beyond evil. Adebayo replayed the restaurant recording. Each word hit harder than the last. Folake calling him stupid, trusting, a romantic fool. The tiny device hidden in his cleaning supplies had captured everything in crystal clarity. There's more, he said quietly. He pulled up another file. Security footage from her apartment building showing Tayo arriving at midnight, leaving at dawn. Text messages between them, intercepted through the phone plan he paid for. Bank statements showing mysterious deposits into her account. She's been planning this before you even met, Kemi said, studying the dates. Look, she opened that account the week after she found out who you were. Segun stood up, pacing. The hardwood floor creaked under his weight. We need to call the police. This is fraud, conspiracy, something. No, Adebayo's voice was ice. Police means court. Court means public scandal. My investors would run. So what then? You just let her? I said no police. He opened another file, but I didn't say no consequences. On screen, a spreadsheet appeared. Every lie Folake had told, documented. Every secret meeting, recorded. Every cruel word, saved. The engagement party is in 3 weeks, Adebayo continued. She's inviting everyone, her friends, family, social media followers, even reporters. Kemi's eyes widened. You're not thinking. She wants an audience? I'll give her one. Segun shook his head. Bro, this is dangerous if she finds out. A knock interrupted him. They froze. Expecting someone? Segun whispered. Adebayo checked his phone. Nothing scheduled. He crept to the door, peering through the peephole. Mama Sidi stood outside, holding a covered pot. He opened the door, confused. Mama? How did you? I follow you that night, she said simply, pushing past him. Old woman eyes still sharp. I bring pepper soup. You too thin. She stopped when she saw the screens, the recording still playing. Her weathered face hardened. So you did gather evidence? Mama, I can explain. No need. She set down the pot, the smell of spices filling the room. My daughter, she marry man like that girl. Sweet mouth, rotten heart. We find out too late. After he done empty her account, give her bell, come run with her best friend. What happened to her? Kemi asked from the screen. Mama Sidi's eyes went distant. She dey psychiatric hospital now. Mine don't scatter. That's why I dey clean office at night. Hospital bills no be joke. Silence settled heavy in the room. Adebayo felt the weight of her story, understanding why she'd helped him that night at the restaurant. Show me wettin' you get, Mama Sidi commanded. For the next hour, they reviewed everything. With each recording, her face grew darker. When they reached the pregnancy plot, she actually gasped. Hey, this girl no real wincho. She want use another man peek and trap you? That's the plan, Adebayo confirmed. You get proof of the other man? He pulled up more footage. Tayo entering her apartment multiple times, credit card records showing hotel bookings, even a pharmacy receipt for pregnancy vitamins dated 2 weeks ago. She's already preparing, Segun observed. Mama Sidi stood up suddenly. I go help you. Mama, no, this is my... Shut up. Her voice brooked no argument. That girl they plan destroy your life. Just like my daughter husband destroy her own. I know go watch it happen again. What can you do? Kemi asked. Mama Sidi smiled, and it was terrifying. I be cleaner for her building, Abai. Cleaners day invisible. We see everything, hear everything, and sometimes she pulled out a key ring. We get access to everything. Adebayo stared at the keys. Master keys to Falake's building. That's illegal, Segun warned. So is fraud, Mama Sidi shot back. So is paternity fraud. So is destroying innocent man life. She turned to Adebayo. You want fight clean or you want win? Before he could answer, his phone buzzed. Folake texting from bed. Baby, I have amazing news. My period is late. I might be pregnant. Everyone in the room saw the message. The temperature seemed to drop 10 degrees. But that's impossible, Segun said. You haven't been with her in weeks. She doesn't know that Bayodun knows that, Adebayo replied slowly. Another text. I'm taking a test tomorrow. Pray for us, baby. This could be our miracle. Kemi's voice crackled through the laptop. She's moving up her timeline. Why? Adebayo thought about it, then pulled up his business calendar. His stomach dropped. The merger. If the Japanese deal goes through next month, my net worth triples. So she wants to lock you down before that happens, Segun concluded. Smart girl, Mama Sidi admitted grudgingly. Evil, but smart. Adebayo's phone rang. Folake calling. He stared at it, knowing he had to answer, had to keep playing along. Put it on speaker, Kemi suggested. He did. Hello, my love. Bio. Her voice was breathless with fake excitement. Did you see my text? I'm so nervous. What if I'm really pregnant? That would be, he forced enthusiasm. Amazing, baby. When will you test? Tomorrow morning. Will you come with me to the doctor, please? I know you're busy, but of course I'll come, she squealed. You're the best. I love you so much. Our baby is going to be so lucky to have you as a father. The words were ash in his mouth. I love you too. After she hung up, silence filled the room. Even the city noise from outside seemed muted. She's not just a gold digger, brother, Kemi said quietly. She's a predator. Flowers should be white roses and lilies, Folake commanded, scrolling through her phone. Nothing cheap. This is the engagement party of the year. Event planner Mrs. Bakari nodded nervously, scribbling notes. The woman's office smelled like coffee and fresh paint, with fabric samples scattered across her massive desk. Adebayo sat beside Folake, playing the devoted fiancé while his stomach churned. And the venue? Mrs. Bakari asked. Civic Center, like we discussed. Adebayo said firmly. Folake's head snapped toward him. What? No, we agreed on Echo Hotel. I changed it. He squeezed her hand gently. Civic Center has better acoustics. For the surprise I'm planning. Her eyes narrowed. What surprise? If I told you, it wouldn't be a surprise. She studied his face, searching for deception. After weeks of playing Bayodun, Adebayo had learned to hide his thoughts. He smiled warmly, kissing her forehead. Trust me, baby. You'll love it. Mrs. Bakari cleared her throat. Should I book the Civic Center then? Yes, Adebayo said before Folake could object. The grand ballroom, expecting 300 guests. 300? Folake's voice pitched higher. I thought we said 150. Your friends, my business associates, family media. He shrugged. It adds up. Unless you want a small party? No, she grabbed his arm. Big is perfect. The bigger the better. Of course it was. More people meant more gifts, more attention, more chances to show off her prize catch. Adebayo had counted on her greed. His phone buzzed. A text from Segun. Tech team is ready. Cameras installed at venue. Who's that? Folake asked, trying to see his screen. Just work. He pocketed the phone. The Japanese merger documents. Her eyes lit up. Is it happening? The merger? Soon. Maybe before our wedding. She practically purred, already calculating the extra zeros in his bank account. Mrs. Bakari pretended not to notice, but Adebayo caught her slight frown. We'll need to adjust security, the planner said carefully. With that many guests, plus media. I'll handle security, Adebayo interrupted. My team knows what to do. Folake's phone rang. She glanced at the caller ID and her face changed, a flash of panic before she forced a smile. I need to take this. Business call. She stepped outside. Through the glass door, Adebayo watched her pace, gesturing angrily. He couldn't hear the words, but her body language screamed trouble. Is everything all right with the bride? Mrs. Bakari asked softly. Wedding planning stress, he lied. The older woman hummed noncommittally. I've planned many weddings, Mr. Ogundimu. Happy brides don't look like that. Before he could respond, Folake burst back in. We need to talk, alone. Mrs. Bakari excused herself. The moment she left, Folake whirled on him. Why did you change the venue without telling me? I told you, for the surprise. Don't lie to me. Her mask slipped, showing the real woman underneath. You've been acting strange. First the business trip, now this. What are you planning? Adebayo stood slowly, towering over her. For a moment he wanted to reveal everything, throw her lies in her face, watch her squirm. Instead, he pulled her close. I'm planning to give you the engagement party you deserve, he said softly. One everyone will remember. She searched his eyes. Promise? I promise it will be unforgettable. Satisfied, she melted against him. I'm sorry, baby. I'm just nervous. That was Tayo on the phone. She caught herself. I mean my cousin Tayo. He can't make it to the party. That's too bad. Adebayo filed away the lie. I was hoping to meet all your family. He's not important. She kissed him, tasting like deception and expensive lipstick. Only you matter. Later at his office, Adebayo met with his security team. The conference room's blinds were drawn, documents spread across the table like battle plans. Every entrance, every exit, he instructed. I want cameras everywhere. Sir, this seems excessive for an engagement party, his security chief noted. It's not. Adebayo pulled up the venue blueprint. Here's what's going to happen. For 2 hours they planned, where screens would be placed, how the reveal would unfold, which doors to lock, which to leave open. Every detail calculated for maximum impact. Sagun arrived as they finished. The video compilation is ready. 20 minutes of her greatest hits. Show me, they watched on the conference room screen, Falake calling him stupid, planning the fake pregnancy, meeting Tayo, counting money while mocking Biodun. Each clip more damning than the last. This will destroy her, Sagun said quietly. She destroyed herself. I'm just showing everyone. His phone rang. Falake again. Hey, baby, I'm at the doctor. The pregnancy test was negative, but don't worry. We'll keep trying. Her voice was syrupy sweet. Maybe we can try tonight? I bought new lingerie. Can't wait, he lied. After hanging up, he noticed Sagun's expression. What? You sure you want to do this publicly? You could just confront her privately. Call off the wedding. She planned to humiliate me, steal from me, make me raise another man's child. Adebayo's voice was steel. Private isn't enough. A knock interrupted them. Mama Sidi entered, carrying a garment bag. Your cleaner uniform, she announced, for tomorrow. Tomorrow? Sagun asked. Biodun's last day, Adebayo explained. Falake wants the apartment spotless before her party planning friends come over. Mama Sidi smiled wickedly. I go there too, extra eyes, just in case. Be careful, Adebayo warned. She's getting suspicious. Of you, not the cleaner. Mama Sidi patted his cheek. Tomorrow we finish gathering evidence. Then Saturday, boom. She clapped her hands together. Explosion. As they finalized details, Adebayo's phone buzzed with another text from Falake. Why did you change the party venue? What are you planning? He stared at the message. She'd asked the same question twice now. Her instincts were warning her, but her greed kept her moving forward. He typed back, planning to make you my wife, nothing more. Her response came instantly. You better not embarrass me, Adebayo. I've invited everyone. Trust me, he wrote. Everyone will see exactly who you are. She sent back heart emojis, not catching the threat hidden in his promise. Sagun read over his shoulder. She's walking right into it. No, Adebayo corrected. She's running. You missed a spot, Biodun. Falake pointed at the perfectly clean floor with her champagne glass, spilling a few drops. Right there. Clean it. Adebayo dropped to his knees, wiping up the mess she just created. Her friends, Sade and Bisi, laughed from the white leather couch, their voices sharp as broken glass. How do you stand such incompetent help? Sade asked, examining her fresh manicure. He's temporary, Falake said, kicking off her designer heels near his face. After tomorrow's party, I'll never see another cleaner again. Adebayo will hire proper staff. The apartment smelled like perfume and cruelty. Boxes lined the walls, wedding gifts arriving early, each one making Falake's eyes gleam brighter. Adebayo scrubbed harder, his knees aching against the marble. Show them the video, Bisi urged, giggling. What video? Falake played innocent, but she was already pulling out her phone. On the screen, Adebayo saw himself, Biodun, struggling with the mop bucket last week. She'd recorded him secretly, adding mocking commentary. Look at how he walks, Falake narrated, like a wounded gorilla. And that face, I swear, poverty makes people ugly. The women shrieked with laughter. Adebayo's hands trembled as he wrung out the dirty cloth. Mama Sidi, cleaning the kitchen, caught his eye and shook her head slightly. Stay calm. Send me that, Sade demanded. It's hilarious. Already posted it in our group chat? Oh, Valak said. 47 likes already. She'd been recording him, mocking him to strangers online. The humiliation burned hotter than acid. His phone, hidden in his pocket, vibrated. A text from Sagun. Final video ready. Just need your go-ahead. Biodun, Falak snapped. Are you deaf? I said clean the bathroom next. Yes, ma. In the bathroom, he found Tayo's cologne on the counter, men's shaving cream in the cabinet, a second toothbrush by the sink. The bastard was basically living here while Adebayo traveled. He cleaned mechanically, listening to the women through the door. Is Tayo coming tomorrow? BC asked. Of course not, Falake said quickly. Why would my ex be at my engagement party? I thought you said he was your cousin earlier, Sade noted. Silence. Then Falake's nervous laugh. Did I? I meant he's like a cousin. We grew up together. More lies. She couldn't even keep them straight anymore. Besides, Falake continued, tomorrow is about securing my future. Mrs. Adebayo Ogundimu. She said the name like tasting honey. Do you know what his net worth will be after the merger? How much? Let's just say I'll never fly commercial again. They laughed, already spending his money in their minds. Adebayo scrubbed the toilet harder, channeling his rage into the brush. But what about love? BC asked, almost shyly. Love? Falake's voice dripped contempt. Love doesn't pay bills. Love doesn't buy houses in Banana Island. Love is what poor people tell themselves to feel better about being broke. But you tell Adebayo you love him, and he believes it. That's what matters. Ice clinked in her glass. Men are simple. Tell them they're amazing. Stroke their ego. Give them what they want in bed. They'll give you anything. You're terrible, Sade laughed. I'm smart. There's a difference. Mama Sidi appeared in the bathroom doorway, carrying fresh towels. Her eyes were full of sympathy and rage. Small, she whispered in Yoruba. Tomorrow she go collect. Adebayo nodded, not trusting his voice. Back in the living room, he found the women huddled around Falake's phone, whispering excitedly. Delete that, Sade hissed. If Adebayo sees, he won't. Falake's voice was confident. I have a password. Besides, he trusts me completely. What are you hiding? Nothing, just insurance, in case he ever tries to leave me. She glanced at Biodun dismissively. You can go now. Come back tomorrow morning to set up for the party. Yes, ma. He gathered his supplies slowly, hoping to hear more. Actually, wait. Falake stood, swaying slightly from the champagne. I want to show you something. She led him to the spare bedroom, her friends trailing behind. Inside, wedding dress samples hung like ghosts. Which one do you think? She asked mockingly. Not that you'd know quality. Adebayo pointed at the simplest dress. That one fine, ma. Of course you'd pick the cheapest. She laughed. This is why poor people stay poor. No vision. She pulled out the most elaborate gown. Crystals, lace, a train that could cover a football field. This costs more than you'll make in 10 years, she said, running her hands over the fabric. But tomorrow after the party, Adebayo will buy it without blinking. You sure he go agree? The question slipped out. Her eyes narrowed dangerously. What did you say? Nothing, ma. I just mean wedding dress plenty money. Are you questioning me? She stepped closer, champagne breath hot on his face. You think you know my fiancé better than me? No, ma. Good. Because tomorrow, after he announces our wedding date to everyone, he'll give me anything I want. That's how guilt works. Guilt? She smiled, cold and calculating. He's been so busy with work, neglecting me. Tomorrow's party is his apology. And guilty men are generous men. Behind her, Sade and BC exchanged knowing looks. Now get out, Falake commanded. And Biodun, tomorrow, try not to embarrass yourself. Important people will be there. Real people. Not like... She gestured at his uniform. Outside the apartment, Mama Sidi waited by the elevator. You hear everything? He asked. Everything. She pressed the button. That girl no even hide her wickedness anymore. She donde too comfortable. In the elevator, Adebayo pulled out his phone. Messages flooded in from Segun Kemi, his security team. Everything was ready. You fit do this? Mama Sidi asked. Tomorrow, in front of everybody? She's been humiliating Biodun for weeks, he said quietly. Recording me, mocking me, planning to rob me. That wasn't different from public disgrace, is it? The elevator opened to the parking garage. She posted videos of me online, told her friends I'm stupid, said love is for poor people. They walked to his hidden car in silence. Inside, he finally let the mask drop. Exhaustion hit like a wave. One more day, Mama Sidi said gently. Tomorrow everything go clear. His phone rang. Falake, I have to take this. He's switching to his CEO voice. Hello, baby? Bio, are you excited about tomorrow? Can't wait. Me neither. I've been thinking maybe we should announce the wedding date at the party. Strike while everyone's happy. That's a great idea. Really? You're not mad I suggested it without asking? Why would I be mad? Tomorrow is your day. She squealed. You're the best. Oh, and baby, wear the blue suit. It makes you look richer. After she hung up, Mama City shook her head. She no even pretend to love you for the phone. No, Adebayo agreed, starting the car. She doesn't. As they drove away, he thought about her final words to Biodun. Tomorrow, important people would be there. Real people. She had no idea how real things were about to get. Tomorrow after the party, I'll never have to pretend again. She'd laughed with her friends. Neither would he. Crystal chandeliers cast rainbow light across 300 faces as Falaka entered the ballroom. Her gold dress sparkled with each step, designer heels clicking on marble like a countdown. She'd never looked more beautiful or more dangerous. There's my queen, Adebayo said, taking her hand. His blue suit fit perfectly, just as she demanded. Baby, this is incredible. She spun around, taking in the white roses, the ice sculptures, the massive screens mounted on every wall. What are those for? The surprise I promised. He kissed her cheek, tasting expensive foundation. Trust me. She beamed, already counting the gift table's growing pile. Everyone who mattered in Lagos was here, celebrities, politicians, business titans. The gossip blogs would feast for weeks. Folake, her mother rushed over, dripping in gold jewelry. See how God has blessed you. From that small flat in Mushin to this. Mama, stop, Folake hissed, glancing around nervously. We don't talk about Mushin anymore. Adebayo filed that away. She told him she grew up in Victoria Island, attended private schools. Another lie in her tower of deception. Across the room, he spotted his security team in position. Sagun stood by the tech booth, thumb hovering over his phone. Kemi had flown in from London, her face carefully neutral as she watched Folake work the room. Is that Tayo? Kemi whispered, nodding toward the bar. It was. The muscular man from the restaurant, trying to blend in with the crowd. He kept checking his phone, sweating despite the air conditioning. He wasn't invited, Adebayo said. Folake must have. Ladies and gentlemen, the MC's voice boomed through speakers. Let's welcome our couple to the dance floor. The crowd parted. Folake grabbed Adebayo's hand, pulling him to the center as cameras flashed. The band played their song, the one from their first date, though she probably didn't remember. You're shaking, she whispered as they danced. Just nervous. Why? Everything's perfect. She pressed closer, playing the loving fiancé. After tonight, we'll be the most famous couple in Lagos. That's the plan. She laughed, not catching his tone. Around them, guests filmed with their phones, broadcasting live to thousands. Folake had made sure everyone knew to stream the party. She wanted the world watching. Perfect. The song ended to thunderous applause. Folake grabbed the microphone before the MC could speak. Thank you all for coming. Her voice echoed through the ballroom. 6 months ago, I met the love of my life. Adebayo showed me what real love looks like. Adebayo watched her perform, noting how easily lies flowed from her lips. In the crowd, Tayo shifted nervously. And tonight, Folake continued, we want to announce our wedding date. The crowd cheered. She turned to Adebayo expectantly, cameras ready to capture his response. He took the microphone slowly. Actually, I have something to share first. The surprise? Her eyes glittered with greed. Yes, he nodded to Sagun. The surprise. The screens flickered to life. Folake's face appeared, but not from tonight. From 3 weeks ago, in her apartment, talking on the phone. The fool actually thinks I love him, her recorded voice filled the ballroom. When he kisses me, I count the zeros in his bank account. Gas rippled through the crowd. Folake's face drained of color. What is this? She whispered. Wait, Adebayo said. There's more. The video switched. Restaurant footage. Folake with Tayo planning their scheme. 3 months and I'll be carrying his baby, she said on screen, and he'll never know it's not his. Screams. Cameras flashing. Folake's mother fainted into a chair. Turn it off! Folake shrieked, lunging for the tech booth. Security blocked her path. On screen, more evidence played. Bank records, text messages, her cruel videos of Biodun the cleaner. Look at how he walks, her voice mocked from the speakers. Like a wounded gorilla, poverty makes people ugly. That's Folake spun wildly, searching for escape. Every exit was blocked. The video reached its climax. Folake in bed with Tayo, taken from her apartment's hidden camera just yesterday. After the party, I'll never have to pretend again, she laughed on screen. Adebayo's too stupid to ever figure it out. Silence fell like a hammer. 300 people stared at Folake, their phones still recording, streaming her destruction live to the world. You set me up, she whispered. Adebayo stepped forward, removing his suit jacket. Underneath, he wore a cleaner's uniform. No, he said calmly. You set yourself up. I just cleaned up the mess. Recognition dawned in her eyes. Bio done? You were. Oh my God. Every cruel word, every mockery, every lie. He pulled out the engagement ring box. I heard it all. I can explain. No need. He opened the box. Instead of a ring, it held a flash drive. This contains everything. Every recording, every document, every piece of evidence. My lawyers already have copies. Tayo tried to run. Security caught him at the door, dragging him back as he cursed Folake for ruining everything. Please. Folake dropped to her knees, designer dress pooling around her. I'm sorry. I'll change. I love you. Love? Adebayo's voice carried through the silent ballroom. You told your friends love is what poor people tell themselves, remember? She sobbed, mascara running in black rivers. It was a mistake. Everyone makes mistakes. Mistakes? Kemi stepped forward. You planned to steal his money and pass another man's baby as his. That's not a mistake. That's evil. The crowd murmured agreement. Phones captured every angle of Falake's breakdown. What do you want? She wailed. I'll do anything. I want nothing from you. Adebayo turned to address the room. I apologize for the deception tonight, but everyone needed to see who she really is. The wedding is off. Applause started slowly, then built to thunder. Someone shouted, she deserves worse. Maybe, Adebayo said, but I'm not her. I don't destroy people for pleasure. He looked down at Folake. Your apartment lease ends next month. Your boutique job too. Yes, I own that building. You have 30 days to find somewhere else to be. You can't? I can. And Falak, he leaned closer. If you ever try this with another man, this video goes viral. Right now, only this room has seen it. Push me, and the world will know. Security began escorting her out. She screamed, begged, threatened to sue. The crowd parted, some spitting at her feet as she passed. At the door, she turned back. You're just like your mother, cold, heartless. That's why she left. Adebayo flinched but stood firm. No, my mother left because she was like you, and I spent months loving you because afraid of being alone. He straightened. Not anymore. They dragged her out, Tayo following. The ballroom erupted in chaos, people talking, posting, calling friends who'd missed the show. Mama Sidi appeared at his elbow. You did good, my son. Did I? Suddenly he felt empty. I loved her. Part of me still does. That makes you human. What she did makes her a monster. Segun approached with champagne. The merger team called. They're impressed by how you handled this. Deal still on. Adebayo almost laughed. Even now it came back to money. Ladies and gentlemen, the MC announced, the bar is still open. Let's celebrate the bullet our brother Adebayo just dodged. The party resumed, transformed from engagement to liberation, but Adebayo slipped out to the balcony, needing air. Lagos glittered below, millions of lights hiding millions of secrets. How many other Folakes were out there, hunting for their next victim? You're right about one thing, Folake, he said to the night. After today, you'll never have to pretend again. Coffee steam rose between them as rain drummed against the cafe window. Adebayo sat across from Mama Sidi, watching her stir sugar into her cup with careful precision. The small Yaba cafe smelled like fresh bread and new beginnings. You look better, she said, studying his face. The shadows under your eyes don't go. I'm sleeping again. He sipped his coffee, tasting peace for the first time in months. The nightmares stopped. And Folake? Gone. Last I heard, she moved to Abuja, trying the same game with politicians now. Mama Sidi sucked her teeth. Some people know they learn. The cafe door chimed. A young woman entered, shaking rain from her umbrella. She wore a simple dress and carried textbooks. A university student, maybe. Pretty, but not in Falake's calculated way. That's my daughter, Mama Sidi said quietly. Aduni. Adebayo's cup paused midway to his lips. Your daughter? The one I told you about. She don't graduate from psychiatric nursing now, wants to help people with broken minds. Pride warmed the old woman's voice. Come, let me introduce you. Mama, I don't think. Ah, you still they fear women? She stood, waving Aduni over. Not all women be like that witch. Aduni approached, smiling shyly. Up close, she had her mother's wise eyes, but none of the hardness life had carved into Mama Sidi's face. You must be Mr. Adebayo, she said, sitting down. Mama has told me so much about you. All bad, I'm sure. Actually, all good. She laughed, and it sounded real, nothing like Folake's practiced giggles. She says you're the man who learned to see clearly. They talked about her studies, his business, the rain. Simple conversation, but Adebayo found himself relaxing. She didn't check his watch or calculate his worth. When he mentioned traveling to Kenya for business, she asked about the culture, not the hotels. I should go, Aduni said after an hour. Clinical rotation starts at 3. Let me drop you, Adebayo offered. The rain is getting worse. She glanced at her mother, who nodded encouragingly. Okay, thank you. In the car, she didn't comment on the luxury. Instead, she asked, Do you still pretend to be Biodun sometimes? The question surprised him. Why would I? Mama said you learned things as a cleaner you never knew as a CEO. Maybe it's worth remembering those lessons. You're very direct. Is that bad? No. He smiled. It's refreshing. At the hospital, she gathered her books. Thank you for the ride. Aduni? He called as she opened the door. Would you like to have dinner sometime? Somewhere simple, no pretense. She studied him for a long moment. Are you asking because you like me or because you're trying to prove you're over your ex? Direct indeed. I don't know, he admitted. Maybe both. At least you're honest. She smiled. Ask me again in a month. If you still want to, I'll say yes. After she left, Adebayo sat in the parking lot processing. No games, no calculations, just truth. His phone rang. Sagun. Bro, you need to see this. Folake's trending on Twitter. What now? She tried her game on a senator's son in Abuja, but he'd heard about what happened at your party. He played along, then exposed her at their introduction ceremony. It's brutal. Adebayo felt nothing, no satisfaction, no anger, just emptiness where she used to live in his thoughts. I don't care, he realized out loud. You don't? No, she's not my problem anymore. That evening, he stood on his balcony, watching Lagos pulse with life. The city looked different now, less like a hunting ground, more like home. His phone buzzed, a message from an unknown number. This is Folake. I know you hate me, but please, I've lost everything. Can we talk? He stared at the words, remembering her tears at the party. Were they real? Did it matter? He typed back, I don't hate you. I nothing you. Please don't contact me again. Then he blocked the number. Inside, he found the cleaner uniform still hanging in his closet. On impulse, he put it on. The rough fabric felt familiar now, like armor he'd earned in battle. He looked in the mirror. Same face, but different eyes. Biodun's humility mixed with Adebayo's strength. Maybe Aduni was right. Some lessons were worth keeping. His phone rang. Mama City. My daughter likes you, she said without preamble. How do you know? Mother knows these things, but she's right to make you wait. You need time to heal properly. What if I'm broken permanently? Nobody broken permanently. Just need the right person to help fix the cracks. She paused. You remember what I told you that night about playing games? That too can play. I told you wrong. Her voice softened. The best relationships, nobody plays games at all. Just truth. Scary, but worth it. After they hung up, Adebayo made a decision. He pulled out his laptop and began typing. My name is Adebayo Ogundimu. 6 months ago, I pretended to be poor to test my fiancée. This is what I learned. The blog post took hours to write. He included everything, his pain, his deception, his discoveries, not to hurt Folake further, but to warn other men, and maybe to warn women about men who might test them too. By morning, it had gone viral. Messages flooded in, some calling him a hero, others a villain. But one stood out. Thank you for sharing your truth, Aduni. He smiled, remembering her words about seeing clearly. Maybe that's what love really was, not the blindness poets described, but the courage to see someone fully and choose them anyway. A month later, he would ask her to dinner again. She would say yes. They would eat at a small restaurant in Yaba, talking until the owner politely asked them to leave at closing time. But that was the future. For now, Adebayo stood in his cleaner uniform, looking out at Lagos, finally understanding Mama Sidi's wisdom. Sometimes the best test of love is no test at all, just truth. And sometimes you have to pretend to be poor to discover what real wealth looks like. If you enjoyed this tale, show some love. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Every click helps us bring more dramatic and unforgettable stories your way.